Well, hello, and I'm here visiting with Connie Cavanaugh. And Connie, it's so much fun to have you here and joining WomanWise and taking this really amazing program across the United States, you know. And I guess, you know, one of the things that always comes to mind, and Connie, when we're out in these churches, right, and we get the women laughing and there's this great camaraderie. You know, there's a lot of things you could be doing. Here you're a writer, you're a grandmom, you know, right? Those are good things.
Yeah.
You've got your children close, but you know, you have a real big message to share. And my question to you is this: is why WomanWise? You know, there's a lot of programs out there.
Well, it just fits so well, I think, with who I am and what I want to be and what I want to be about. Because when I think of where I was when God found me in this dry place of this spiritual desert where I thought I had completely lost my faith and had just run out of hope. And He found me in that place, and He helped me to begin making little wise choices. You know, just one yes at a time. I made these little wise choices, and I didn't know where that was going to lead. I never dreamed it would lead to this place and this time and being connected with such a fabulous opportunity to impact women all over the United States. But that was by God's design, and it was just kind of one little wise choice at a time. And so there's no place I would rather be than outside of the prison that I made for myself. Sure. And trying to help other women find hope and maybe say one little yes, make one little wise choice that'll lead to others. So this is just a tremendous opportunity for me to just give back a little bit.
Well, you know, you mentioned about going out in kind of the spiritual dryness. And, you know, as Christians, you know, it's not ever too fun to have to be completely transparent, to articulate that we have spiritual dryness in our lives, right? There's these moments, and why we think we should be perfect, I'm not sure, right? You know, it's ridiculous. You know, I know that there's moments in my life, and I've said this to you, is that, you know, I'm doing my best to, you know, to pray for God's will and get me out of the way, right? Just, come on, Lord, help me out. And, but there's this ridiculous notion, I think to myself, that my will could somehow supersede God's.
Yeah, I know.
You know, but when I'm in that dryness, there's a thought that it could, and it becomes real. So, you know, I know what I do. But my question to you is, who are the people that come to you? You know, that wisdom. You know, that discernment. You've said a couple things to me, I know, in the past about people that were there when you were in the dryness, because yours lasted.
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah. Well, I guess the wonderful thing is you know, they always say you can tell who your friends are by who's still there when the crisis hits.
Yeah.
And when I went through this really dry time, I mean, one person in particular, my husband, because I didn't want anyone to know what I was going through, because my husband is in ministry, and it just wouldn't be good for him for people to know how bad it was with me. But I would say to my husband, I've lost my faith. And he would always say, Connie, you haven't lost your faith, you're just finding it. And I didn't really know what he meant, but what he meant was I was finding a faith that worked in the real world. Instead of this little storybook faith that I had in the beginning that had a Hollywood ending, because life isn't Hollywood. You know, life is real, and it's full of betrayal and loss and grief and pain and crisis. And so he was definitely one. And then I just had a few really good friends, really good girlfriends, and then one praying friend in particular. And she just powerfully prayed various scriptures, but a couple in particular that she prayed for me every morning and every evening without fail. And it was the Lord who gave her the message to share Psalm 51 with me. And she's the one who sat me down at her kitchen table and brought me to Psalm 51, verse 13. I will, you know, teach transgressors your ways and bring sinners back. And she said, Connie, that's what you are called to do. And I thought, I am one of those. Like, I can't do this. But that was where the Lord planted that into my heart, that was what I was made for.
Sure.
And that's what I was going to do. And that was part of the journey of just hearing wisdom and making wise choices that brought me to this place now where I can, you know, link up and partner with some people who want to have that same message. So it's such a good fit.